Hey everyone, we're just going to wait a minute or two for some people to pop on. Hope everybody's doing all right. Alright guys, I'll go ahead and get started. Hey everyone, my name is Julie Eppel and I'm a Lanza healing artist. I'm here right in my home studio of Salon Jewel by Julie in Okemos, Michigan. And I wanted to pop in here with you guys today just because I need to do a deep cleaning, and I thought what better place to do my Facebook Live than right here in my own studio. So I'm super excited to share with you guys an updo today. Now my goal for this live is for you guys to take a bunch of different techniques and apply them to all different sorts of updos out there. And so what I'm going to do on my lovely model here is create volume within the hair structure. So this is going to show you guys how to do that. I know we see on Pinterest and we have our clients bring in all these crazy photos and it looks like the model has a ton of hair, right? So we know that most of our clients don't have that much hair. So I'm going to show you how to create that structure within the head shape to create those nice soft curls with a lot of volume inside the hair. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, if you want to get closer here, I've actually prepped my model with a nice crimping iron. Now the reason we crimp the hair is to create texture on that hair shaft. So this is something that I've been doing for a really long time. It gives me volume within that hair to mold it and pin in place a lot more easily. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of our color illuminator just to revamp her. What I love about the color illuminator is it gives not only shine to the hair, but it makes that hair color more reflective. It almost gives her that nice fresh hair color. And if you guys have taken an updo class with me, you know she's seen some miles. So I'm going to go ahead and section. So I am going to go between, I'm going to do that high parietal ridge here, and I'm going to go right in that mid eyebrow, and I'm going to create a triangular section. So I'm going to take my left index finger, put it at the high point of the head, and I'm going to draw that line. We call that index to index. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop that index finger on the other side, creating that triangle. Now, you could, if she had a side part, you could take the triangle a little off center. I'm just going to go off that center shape because we are going to create a part on the side. So you guys can see here, let me just clean this up. And you see that nice triangle. Now this is going to help get that hair out of the way a little bit more easily. I'm going to use a chopstick to do that, and that allows the hair to not have any dents in it while we're working. The next portion is we're going to create that foundation. So I'm going to take my tail comb and I'm going to go at the nape of the head. Just move here. I'm super lucky today. My boyfriend's here videoing me, so
hello everyone
for that. Yes, his name's Uriah. So I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to pop it right at that nape, and what I'm going to do is create a zigzag parting all the way down. Do a little bit more of a zigzag. Now the reason we do a zigzag is to hide any specific lines, because diagonal lines equal diffusion. Now with her hair, she's got a lot of hair, so I can afford to take this base section a lot wider. Now if she had finer hair, I would take a smaller section because I'm going to create that volume within here. Now with updos, what I love about them is that it's more of a controlled chaos. So to be honest, you don't have to have perfect lines. The more perfect they are, the more you run the risk of seeing that scalp, and that's not something we want to do.
Hi Lori. There's the side of me.
See, you're famous. Okay. Next section. Again, just drawing that zigzag all the way down. Now, if you guys joined me at the big event, this is the look that I did there, and I really appreciate you guys attending that class. I think there's a lot of good techniques that you guys can take with you. So I'm going to just isolate that hair out of the way on this left side. Now, one of my great product cocktails to prep the hair for an updo is using our design foam and our zero weight gel. I use the zero weight gel to create a light movable volume, and then the design foam to smooth the hair. So it has a lot of different versatile uses. So you guys can see that section, just in a regular zigzag, no big deal. Don't stress out about making it perfect. But I do leave about an inch, because again, remember her density, I leave about an inch at that nape just to help aid in the style. So now you can see it's about 4 sections. The triangle, the 2 sides, and then the base section. Now the reason we did the triangle too is because again those diagonal lines will help me fold and rope braid the hair nice and softly so we don't see her scalp. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to show you guys a little trick, and I'm going to create a perfect ponytail. Now, is this necessary to do this because it's within the head shape? No, but is this a technique that you can take with you and use for those perfect ponytails? Absolutely, because as you can see, my studio is not that big, so I'm not really working with an assistant. So I have to make these adjustments because I only have me doing a lot of my weddings and things. So I'm going to take 2 elastics, and I'm going to, if you want to get closer on this, and I'm going to create a figure 8, and it's going to look just like that, okay? Now I know there's an easier way to put them together. However you have to do to get these together, that's all you have to know, okay? So we'll take 1 bobby pin on one side and then 1 on the other, just like this, okay? I'll do it one more time. 2 elastics, like this. My right thumb goes over the left circle, and then the middle finger there. And it's almost like a little cat's in the cradle, I don't know, taking you back to elementary school. And just like that, okay? So I'm going to take that, and I love this Lanza vent brush because I use it to comb the hair, but I love using this to brush out my dry waves. The plastic pins just allow it to move effortlessly through the hair. So I am going to go a little higher on this because again I'm going to create that volume within the updo. So now we're all in. I'm going to take the flat side of the bobby pin. The flat side is typically to the scalp. And I'm going to go in at a diagonal, if you want to get closer, here, in like this, and I'm just going to wrap, and let's not push it. So I'm going to go in underneath, and the goal is to create an X on that scalp, just for that security. So you can see that ponytail is really, really secure, and this will allow for a great base. Next, I'm going to take my Powder Up texturizer. This is not only great for root volume, but it's actually great to create volume within the hair. So I'm just going to take it and poof it up right in there. This is just going to add some grit to the hair for me. As you can see, she's been tied up already, so she's already a little rough, but that's all right. So typically, I would pre-section her. Her hair would be dry. I wouldn't even crimp it. I would actually section it out and do this section first, and then I would go in and crimp my client, okay? Why crimp the whole thing if you don't have to? We want to work smarter, not harder. So I'm going to take my left hand, thumb, and index finger very lightly. I'm not going to grip the hair like this because then I can't get in there. This is going to be a light tease. Nice and airy. And I'm almost kind of pushing and pulling, pushing and pulling. The goal is to make it big and secure. This saves me from having to go buy those pre-done forms, which cost extra money, right? Again, like I said, I'm a studio owner, And I know even salon owners out there, less is more. So I like to create different things in different ways. So I'm going to take a hairnet. I use this for everything. If you guys know me by now, I like to use a hairnet on the outside. I like to use a hairnet on the inside. Bring the inside to the outside, outside and the inside, right? So I'm going to take the point of the hairnet. This is an elastic one. The one without the elastic will not work very well in this case. So I'm going to take my bobby pin. I'm going to pop it right on that end. And then I'm going to take the other side, do another bobby pin. Ooh. We got a live one here. All right, just like that. So they're on both ends. They're on the anchor of that hairnet. Just the reason we do that is so it prevents any fraying on the hairnet. And right before I do that, I'm going to take my lustrous finishing spray. And I do want this to be nice and firm. I'm creating a cushion. I love that hairspray because it's a constant spray and it's just going to keep going. Okay, so I'm going to take this, again, the flat side to the scalp, right on the top of that base, and I'm going to wrap this hairnet around, just like that, nice and secure. And then I'm going to go down and in to that base. So we've created a firm base, right? It looks just like the forms you can buy. So in this instance, I'm going to do it vertically, okay? So I'm just going to bring it out. Now that we know it's secure, I'm going to fan it out there. And then I'm going to take a large bobby pin, which these are actually called roller pins, if you're wondering. And I'm going to take it, I'm going to go in, out, in. So we're going to go in, out, in, nice and light. In, out, in.
Got a couple people saying hi here. Oh yeah, Tusky. Want to say hi?
Hey girl.
Heather Spath
Awesome.
is waving. Karen Burnett.
Awesome.
Christine Bennington says she loves your hairnet idea.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna go in, out, in. Okay, so now we've created a nice form. Let's see, maybe we want to do one more. Yeah, let's bring it down a little bit. Now the thing with updos is this technique, you do not have to be an updo specialist to be able to create an updo. I believe that an updo is a collection of techniques, and if you know a few, you can make it look like you know how to do anything, right? And that's what we're all about. So now we have our form, and now I'm going to go up into that top triangle. Turn it just a little bit there. And I am going to take a little bit of the Design FX spray. This is a nice working spray. This is what I sell to my clients when they don't really want to wear hairspray, but then they want a hairspray. Because it's nice and light, it doesn't feel like a hairspray. And I'm just using it to rough it up. At this point, though, if I hadn't had crimped her already, I would go ahead and go in crimping her, right? And then I would go ahead and isolate that triangle out again. And how I would crimp is, I just want to mention this, is I would take small sections. So you can see I'm parallel to the hairline, so it's almost a slight diagonal back. So then I would isolate this out of the way, and I would take my crimp. I'll just show you guys how I do that really quick. And I would take that, and then I would go in, and then here, let's move around a little bit. Just like that. And sometimes I go in an overhand direction as well. Just depends. I want to get close to the scalp. So I'm taking that tiny section, crimp, 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 and then you can go back in, crimp, 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 crimp. La 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 la. Just like that. Now, I'll be honest with you, this is exactly how I smooth iron the hair. I love blow drying and finishing, but I also love iron work as well. And I'm known to take a smooth iron and I'll take tiny diagonal sections so I can get right up close to the scalp. And that allows it to be the sleekest. Because if I go in at a horizontal, if you guys think about that, and you're parallel to the floor, you're creating volume when you do that. I don't want to do that. In this case, would it matter that much? Not really, but again, I'm going to be folding that hair this way, so why not crimp in the direction that you're going to be laying the hair? All right, let me crimp. Let me get this out of the way again.
Cindy said this is just like your big event 80s night.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to reiterate, you're using the Design FX spray.
I am, because that's a nice light working spray. So when I tease the hair, I'm going to go in with my tail comb. I'm going to nice and lightly comb here, and I'm going to over direct, right? Because over direction makes that live on base, and that's what we're looking for. That's maximum volume, right? So I'm going to just take my little tail comb, and I'm doing a nice light French lacing technique, which means it's just skimming on top of that hair. Now if you start teasing from up here, you're going to have a nest just like this, and that's not what we're going for. We want to be a little bit more controlled in this situation here. Light, light, light. See how much volume that creates? Next section here. Oh, she's a little tall for me. Okay, just like this. Tease, tease, tease. Now I definitely got that from Martin Parsons. He was one of my first Updo mentors, as I'm sure a lot of you could relate to that. He was an awesome man. I got to work with him a little bit in my career, and he's just so awesome. So I took a lot from him and then other people throughout the years. Tease, tease, tease. Like that. And then a few more sections. You guys can see how much volume this creates, and I'm barely teasing that hair. But again, I'm starting at the base. It'll be a little bit less around the front. Tease, tease, tease. Okay, just like that. I do have my mirror here, which is nice. Now, whenever I'm doing updos too, it's really important to use your mirror, right? So I always tell the client, hey, you're gonna go through a lot of ugly before you get to pretty, so just relax, sip your mimosa, and chill out, right? So I'm gonna take this vent brush, and I'm gonna lightly comb the front. My section here. Do a little bit more of the design effects.
Megan said your eyeshadow looks fabulous.
Oh, thanks. I didn't know if you would be able to see it. I thought I'd turn it up just a little bit, especially since we've all been locked in the house, right? I gotta look nice for somebody. Okay, so I'm gonna fold that hair just like that. Taking my large hairpin. See if I can turn this for you. See how we're doing in the front here. So we'll fold here. And we can always touch her up when we get in there at the end. Okay, so I'm going to take some of my foundation. Go ahead and try to get, can you get in here right here? Get up close and personal. Okay, so I'm hooked into that foundation. And then I'm going to go right into that base. Just like that. Okay? Now I'm going to take that lustrous spray at this point. And something I also like to do is use my balayage brush, Lanza's balayage brush, and spray the hair, and then use the brush to get any of those flyaways down. And then I can also use the end to get in there. The more we touch the hair, the stickier it gets in general, right? So the least amount that we touch it, the better. So we'll do that. Perfect. Okay. now let's now what do we do with this? So the goal is to cover this base. Now again, you will be covering the base anyway with what we do, but see how you can take that hair, spread it out, take a pin, and hook it right in here, just like that, and then I can just tuck that away. Hopefully that's making sense to you guys and translating on camera. Take my lustrous spray a little bit and secure it. Okay, now let's get into the fun part. This is where it goes a little bit quicker. So sticking with my whole diagonal sectioning, because I love a good diagonal, I'm going to go ahead and do just a diagonal. I'm creating triangles in essence too. We do a lot of that in hairdressing, don't we? So we'll do that, just like that. And I am going to isolate this bottom section out of the way with a clip. Again, taking the Design FX, do a little bit at that base. I'm going to just create a light tease right at the root, and again, I'm going to just tease in the direction that hair is going to lay. So there. Just like that. And we'll break this up just one more section. Just like that. Base, base, base. And now that's nice and soft. I'll take a little bit of the lustrous spray. I love the lustrous spray too because you can layer it on. It's not set it and forget it. Okay, now I'm going to go in at an angle here, and I'm just going to lightly rope braid. So this is a flat rope braid, right? I'm not twisting it, okay? The reason I don't twist it is because I want to be able to pull it out nice and lightly. Here. Here. Here.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop in. I can relay them to Julie.
He's such a good cameraman. Okay, so I'm going to hold it nice and taut in my left hand. And now I'm going to expand. Expand. Just like that. So this is a nice light expansion. Now you can see it separating there. Do not worry about it. We will worry about that at the end. Taking a large bobby pin, putting it right on the end. Not using my teeth, because that is gross, especially now that we have to really take care of ourselves, which we should have been doing. And you're just going to pop that into the base. So it seems a little loose right now, but I promise you we can secure it up when we're working our way down. I'm going to go to the other side.
I'm going to show them where you tuck that in.
Yep, just right. It lives right in there. So you'll see on the other side, I'll do another one. Again, diagonal forward here.
Cindy's wondering if you twisted the braid.
I just flat, it's like a flat twist. So I will show you that again on here. It's a rope braid, but I don't want you guys to think a rope braid means twist the whole time. It's more of a place. It's like you fold, place, 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 place. So I'll show you that again here. Again, Design FX at that base. Okay. Now I will switch sides here. So Uriah can get right in there. Just do a little light tease at that base. Now again, since we did crimp her, she's going to be able to, she's going to have a little natural volume anyway. Is this super necessary? No. But is this something I like to do to give it a little bit more oomph at the base? Absolutely. Just right over here. Smooth it out. And then we'll take one more section here. The bigger the hair, the easier it is. So we can always calm that volume down. What we can't do is really put it back in once we've secured it. So I'll take a little bit of that lustrous finishing spray just to clean up all those flyaways. Sorry guys, I keep going back and forth, but okay. So now I'm splitting. Now notice I'm not splitting the section at the scalp. If I do that, I run the risk of seeing it more. So I'm not going to disturb that base tease that we just did. But I think it was Cindy who asked the question. So see how it's flat?
Sydney.
Sydney?
Yep.
Okay. So see how it's flat like this? So I'm almost, see how it's flat? So I'm just going to like lightly fold here. So I'm not twisting. There's the difference, right? That's a twist. See how tight that is? We don't want to do that. We want to do a nice, light rope braid. Obviously, is it twisting a little? Sure, but it's not. If I started it that way, then I wouldn't be able to expand it at all. So then I'm going to just do a little piece by piece. You can even skip the valley there. I'm going to do that. And then I want to go ahead and secure this side. Taking the bobby pin, opening it up on my body, okay? Hooking that just like this. Now you can use this technique for even just your regular bridal updo, where you just, instead of rolling that curl up to the base and then pinning it, why not take that bobby pin, go halfway down, and then you can take it and you can spin it and direct it and put it exactly where you want it to go. So here, if you want to get in here. See, that base is so secure, I'm just gonna literally just pop it right in there, okay? Now that I have those two top sections done, obviously it's splitting a little bit, so I do want to take care of that right now at this point. I'm going to take a hair pin, and I'm going to go in, out, in, right to that base, and then fold that in. Let's clean her up a little bit more security. There we go. And you can make that, you can use that hairpin as a stabilizer. Okay, let's check in the mirror. Okay, so she's splitting a little bit, but we're going to wait until the end. Okay, now I'm going to move to the other side. And again, just working all the way down that hair. Securing a little bit more here. Okay. Perfect. Now I know that's why this can be stressful, is because it kind of looks a little crazy while you're doing it. But basically, one pin can make all the difference, and you'll see it come together. Okay, next section here. Now maybe she's getting a little frizzy, so at this point, could you take some keratin healing oil? Absolutely. It's such a nice light oil, it's just going to help bring those flyaways together as well. Just like that. And, alright, next section here. Right to a diagonal there to that base. Now, is it super necessary I tease all of it? No, it is not, because I feel like we can build that volume already. So again, splitting it in half at a diagonal, like that. And then I'm just going to fold. Like that, nice and loose. Working my way all the way down that section. Do we always use all the hair in the section? No, I'm putting a lot of it away, but it's good to go down further, kind of overshoot, so then you have enough hair to work with. Pull. See how that's really starting to take shape there? Just like that. And again, going to the other side of that base, taking my bobby pin, placing it at the bottom of the section, and I'm twisting, twisting, and then I'll pin right to that base. I'll go to the other side. Turn her like that. We'll do a diagonal forward section. So look how much hair it looks like she has, right? And we've just created that with that form. So we'll split it here. And then I'll walk this way. And see, you can place it right where it needs to go. And I'm going to expand. Again, I'm kind of working against each other, right? I'm pulling and pushing. Pulling and pushing. This is also how I create a curl without a curling iron. And the only difference is I will take a tail comb and I'll do that, and then I'll secure it right in that valley, right? You can lock it in. So this is definitely something you can do just on a client that has that, you've done those nice curls that are beachy and it's like a nice beach wave. But if you take a couple pieces with the powder up texturizer and you twist, you flat twist, and then you pull, you can create a curl without a curling iron. No hot tool.
Trish would like to know if you prep the hair with texture or smoothing. She joined a couple minutes late.
No worries. So if the client came in and needed to be shampooed, personally I recommend my Updo clients, I normally send them home with the products that I want them to prepare their hair with. So I'll do design foam and zero weight gel, and they'll come in with clean dry hair and they have blow dried that in. And if they haven't done that, then I'll take design foam on dry hair, put it at the base and blow dry it in just to create a little grip. And then I section the hair out. Again, that base that's right in there, I don't necessarily crimp, but she has been crimped to create texture within that hair. So there's not a lot of prep that you have to do. Just pinning that in there. So now we can see that shape starting to work its way down that foundation. And I'm just taking this bobby pin in here. I'm going to try to find a little home for it. Now we have a little bit more security, okay? All right. Which side am I on? I'm on this side. Nope, I'm on this side. Okay? We'll probably get 2 more sections on each side. Splitting it in half. Twist, 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 twist. See, you can do a little dance. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to take this end and I'm going to expand. I used to do a lot of this years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that that flower updo that was going all over the internet. I actually tried it, and it was a good practice for how to really expand the hair without overdoing it. So it's a nice light expansion. See that? See, it's creating that nice curl. Okay. Another large bobby pin.
Now, is there a particular size of crimper that you prefer for this, or crimp?
Not necessarily. I have, I use the Sam Via one. That's kind of a tiny crimp. You know, you just have to think about it. If it's that big wave iron, that's not going to create the texture you want. Now, could I even take a pin iron and do those sections and create like a nice, more of a curled effect? I posted a video the other day of creating texture within the hair with a pin iron. I don't know if you guys can see, but my hair sticks straight. So I'll take that small, tiny pin iron and I will create texture with that, or taking that smaller size crimp. I mean, this one's pretty small. The smaller it is, the more texture you'll get. Now, can I take this and use it as a design too? Yeah, so I think that versatility of a smaller crimp, it really is what I prefer. Okay, so now she's fallen a little bit. That's all right. I think I'm gonna do one more here at that base. And then we'll do this side here. Just noticing here, it's just all in the design. I could probably split that section in two. That's what I'm gonna do. Now you guys notice here, it's a little tight, so all I gotta do is take my tail comb and expand it out without disturbing what I've done. And again, we'll use the mirror for that. Now, a lot of times when we're doing updos too, we're 2D on the head shape, right? You guys can see other stuff that I can't see right now. So it's really important to keep that in mind. So I always like to take a step back and look. Now, another thing I like to do is also, when I let the client know, hey, you're gonna go through some seriously, you know, maybe ugly before you get to seriously pretty, I just let them know, I'll let you know when I want you to look, and then we can pin in place if we need to. Now, if there's a pin, I always give them permission. Listen, if there is a pin that hurts right when I do it, please tell me. Don't tell me when I'm about done, because I can't really go after it. So it's really important you give the client permission to speak freely in that way, but you don't want to open up the floor to where they're literally like, what about this one? What about that one? Like me, I'm the worst client. So it's best to let them know how it's going to go, because you're in charge, right? They're in your chair. You're the expert. So it's really, really important that you set the expectation. And you can do that in a nice way. Most people are pretty agreeable. You know, I love it when they bring in pictures, because it lets me know where their head's at. Now, again, that model might have 50 pounds of hair and they don't. So I can't make it all the way down to the floor without hair extensions, but what I can do is maybe build volume within that head shape. So maybe their hair's laying to the side, and I can only give them a little portion of the picture. I always try to pick out two things that I like in a picture. This is with hair color too. And if it's the color itself that I like, but maybe not the placement, I will literally give them two options that I'm willing to do. I'm not going to do things that I don't want to do. You know, we shouldn't have to do that. Okay, we're just finishing up here. I'm going to split this section too. Flip, twist, flat twist, flat twist, flat twist. Okay, just a little piece here. Making this a little bit bigger at the bottom. Now, could you absolutely leave a little bit more down at the bottom and leave that nape out to create more length in this updo? Of course you could. In this instance, I didn't really want to do that, so okay, we'll go over here. Pin right into that foundation up here. I'm going to bring her up a little bit higher so I can see. At that point, would I have the client probably tip their head down? Yes, I'm short, so that chair can only go up so high. Now we're just wrapping it up here.
Callie was wondering if we could see a close-up of the pins that you're using.
Absolutely. Here, I can move that brush and you can look in there too. Just hang on 1 second. So I'm using, they're called roller pins. I call them large bobby pins. But when you go to the store, they're large roller pins. So I am going to just tease this up a little bit, just for some security. And I might tuck that right away on the bottom.
Meg and Ray wanted to thank you for going live. It's getting her excited to go back to work.
Oh, good. Thanks. I know it's been a wild ride, hasn't it? And we don't know where we're going to end up. But I have faith that we're going to end up bigger and better than we were before. It's just going to take a little bit to get there. And, you know, I think it's great. Lonza's been doing this, free education. And when they asked me to do it, of course I wanted to do it because I think it's really important to stay motivated. And I think it's important for people to know that we're all in this together and we're here to help each other and not hate, just help, right? We all bring something different to the table, every single one of us. And I think it's important to know who you are, find out what you're good at, find out what you're not good at, and learn from those people, right? You can never stop learning. Okay, so now, obviously, it's a little wonky, but this is where it all comes together. So I'm going to just continue to pin in place, stepping back to look. Now, we do see that split in there, but you guys, there's the hairnet right there and you can't even see it, okay? So that offers protection. There's different colors of hairnets, to be honest. It's just really what you prefer. I prefer one that's more like invisible in this instance. So I'm going to take my hairpin, large hairpin. I'm going to take a little bit of each of the rope braids, and now you can see I've sealed that together. You might want to get closer on this. So this is where it's really coming together here. Again, taking a little bit of this bottom section here, a little bit from that top in there, pin to that foundation, and she's getting a little fuzzy, so we'll just take a little bit of that color illuminator. Again, the large hairpin. Take a little bit of that bottom section, a little bit of that top section, and see how I'm bringing it all together. So that will cover that foundation really, really well. Again, a little bit from the bottom, a little bit from the top, right into that foundation. Stepping back to look. And then this is where we can really secure our look. A little bit in here, a little bit to the base. See, now I'm collapsing it together because it was pretty big, but now we can really use our pins and our eye to section that down to make it make a lot more sense. Also too, you know, you might, if you're not really somebody who does updos, you might want to just start training your eye. I mean, I know when I go into a doctor's office, if there's a picture off, ooh, it makes me feel uncomfortable. So I do a lot of things based off feeling and what the hair tells me to do. So if something doesn't feel good, fix it. So here, you can really spray it in there. Obviously, this does not feel good, so let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Are there any more questions? We're just starting to wrap it up.
Quite a few compliments.
That's always nice. If you guys, I wonder if you can get in the mirror here. So now this is where I really want to change it up. I'm going to create a little bit Actually, I'm going to bring it all together. You know what? I changed my mind, and I can do that. So I'm going to go in here, bring it together. Just like that. And then I'm going to take a smooth iron and create another little doily.
Somebody asked what was the filler that you used?
Oh, the person's hair. I used a hairnet, and I used a perfect ponytail and a hairnet, and that's how I created that form.
Robin would like to know if you can do this with fine hair as well.
This is great for fine hair. So in that instance, if the hair is fine, what I would recommend doing is taking a smaller foundation. So the foundation was more of like a banana shape. Take a smaller section. She had a lot of hair, so honestly, half the time when you're doing an updo, you're spending time getting rid of the hair that's already there so you can make it workable. So if they have really fine hair, you just take a little bit smaller foundation, and then you can create a bigger foundation within that hairnet, and then you'll have a lot more hair to work with on the side. So all you're doing is trying to create volume inside. So you can see, I hope that made sense. So you can see I'm just creating a little ribbed effect here. So you can see how it brings it together. It just creates a little bit more texture. And you can see the difference here. So I didn't do it on the one side. Let me take my shine brush here. Pull that out a little bit there. And now that split can go away. So I did that ridge here with the smooth iron and not on this side. So you can see the difference. It's not much, but hey, it's a little bit of texture. And that really can bring the front of the updo together. So just to recap before we wrap it up. So what I did was 4 sections. We did a triangle section on the top, and then we isolated the side sections out of the way. That foundation, it was that triangle from mid-eyebrow to mid-eyebrow to the apex, just a little bit below that apex. And then my base section was taken just like that, a Z, little zigzag. And then I combed that together. I did the perfect ponytail with 2 bobby pins on each side, and I wrapped it. And then I took my hairnet, I teased that hair, put the hairnet in, and I formed that base that created that length right here. And then I would have crimped at that point on a real guess, so I'm not crimping the whole head, I'm not curling the whole head. I want to do less is more, okay? That triangular section on the top, honestly, you can just normally get away with curling the top and the sides if you're putting that hair up. So it's a great basic structural sectioning. And then I went ahead and did back and forth rope braids. And at the end, I did that all the way down. And at the end, I brought them together with large hairpins. They're about the 3-inch ones. So really all I used was these 2 types of hairpins to create this look. And I'm going to finish off with that color illuminator one more time because I cannot get enough. And that really adds nice shine to the hair. But look at all that detail work. I mean, it looked like you did a lot more, right? So all that is a rope braid expanded. And then we have this side here. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know that I did. And just to reiterate here, this is Lanza's Instagram. It's at Lanza Hair Care on Instagram, hashtag Lanza Love. And then you can find me on Instagram, Julie Apple 44, hashtag Julie Apple Hair. And also on Facebook, I have Salon Jewel by Julie. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here today at my studio, Salon Jewel by Julie in Okemos, Michigan. I just want you to know I love you, and I'm thankful that you decided to spend your time here with me today. And just so you guys know, we'll all get through this together, and I can't wait to come to your salon when we get right back on our travel. And I'd love to teach updos, blow drying, color, styling. I'm here for you guys, and I want to thank you for all the inspiration that you give me. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day.